The world is a global village.
And that's because information travels beyond boundaries.
And on This Morning on ITV,
we guarantee unbiased analysis on topical issues
that will educate you,
entertain you.
So join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Every Sunday to Thursday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. on your ultimate news and current affairs program on television. This morning on ITV TMI. Join us.
It's a public holiday, and to commemorate the festivity of the Muslim brothers and sisters and celebrating Eid al-Kabir. And so with this, we say Bakali Salah to our Muslim brothers and sisters. I'm the host on today's edition of TMI, Philip Omo Gupon. And you know what we do? We look at issues emanating from the polity. And today we'll be quickly looking at the significance of Eid al-Kabir. And after that, we'll also throttle down to national unity, the unity of Nigeria, of course. And we're looking at the aspect of tackling religious intolerance. You agree with me that it's quite timely that we wrap our heads around this subject and diagnose and find a way to provide lasting solutions as a people to solving this challenge that really tends to bedevil this great political landscape we call Nigeria. But first, on the Salah period, Salah celebration, I'm having a Muslim cleric with me to discuss the significance of Eid al-Kabir. He is also a legal practitioner, and he is known as but Alao Al-Amin. Alao Al-Amin is an Alhaji and a Muslim cleric. Thanks for coming, Alao.
Thank you very much. Good morning, viewers.
And also next to him, I have a clergyman, Pastor Salvation Onomroba. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, good morning, good morning, viewers.
And also next, I have the senior pastor of Rest and Blessed Glorious Assembly. He's known as but Omogbe Egwagie. Thanks for coming, Omogbe.
Good morning, viewers. God bless you.
All right, first, let me start with you, Alhaji. We're looking at the significance of Eid al-Kabir. What's the celebration aiming at?
Thank you very much. The celebration is one of the two festivals we have in Islam. We have two major festivals. The first one, the Eid al-Fitr, to mark the end of Ramadan fast. Then this is the big festival. We call that one the small Salah, or Eid al-Fitr. Then this is called the Eid al-Kabir, the big festival, or Eid al-Adha, the festival of sacrifice. To commemorate what happened at the time of Prophet Ibrahim Abraham, when he made a promise to sacrifice his child to Almighty God. He longed for a child in old age, became a centenarian and about 100 years old before eventually Almighty God granted him a child. So when he had a child, Ismail alayhi salam, Allah reminded him in his dream of his promise to sacrifice that child. But Ibrahim was very, very generous. He would slaughter a lot of animals and entertain guests with them. He would feed the poor and the needy. There was a day he made so much sacrifice, and the angels were impressed. Ibrahim now said, oh, if God can grant my request and I have a child, I will sacrifice him on that child for God. I will do it. It's not more than what I will do. So eventually, he had a dream. Allah reminded him of that promise. You promise, if I give you a child, you will sacrifice the child for me. Go ahead and do it. And so, he had no choice but to go ahead and do it. And because he had an obedient wife, Hajara, the wife did not say, you want to kill my child? With the husband, Ibrahim alayhi salam. And of course, because the son too had the fear of Almighty Allah. The son did not run away from the house, but with the father. And he would say, oh, my father blindfold me, so that the sight of the night does not frighten me. And in fact, tie my hands and legs, so that when I'm struggling from the cutting, I will not hit you accidentally, and thereby committing the offense of a child who has beaten father.
That means he was quite aware that the sacrifice is going to make him pass through the night.
Yes. So Ibrahim took him and then laid him down to slaughter, but Almighty God commanded the knife not to cut. And so Almighty God was satisfied that he had fulfilled his promise.
Yes.
And as an award, Allah now set a lamb in exchange. And now the lesson from that, the first lesson from that is that it is not allowed to use human beings for sacrifice. Those of you ritualists who go for human organs, human life for sacrifice, it is very, very ungodly. Once you go for human sacrifice or ritual, you should know that it is not Almighty God, it is the devil that you are serving. Because Almighty God wanted to lay that example. No, don't use your child. It is the ram. You can use the ram, you can use the camel, you can use the cow. In this festival, you can kill a ram, you have the means.
Okay, so as symbolic.
Yes.
Okay.
5 can combine together to kill a cow, 7 can combine together to kill a camel. So another says in the Quran that neither the blood nor the flesh reaches Almighty Allah, but it is your piety that reaches Him. Almighty God will not eat us if you have slaughtered. He doesn't even want the blood. It is your piety that Allah wants. So that shows the significance of being pious. That is the most important thing. And then very, very importantly too, when at the time before Ibrahim had that child, his love was concentrated only on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now having that child at old age, he was not having love for that child as well. So Almighty God wanted to be sure that Ibrahim alayhi salam preferred him, Almighty God, to the child. Okay, give me that child. Sacrifice that child for me. Assuming he loved the child above God, he will have said, no, 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 God, please, I can't kill my child for you. Which are wicked God are you? But he went ahead and will pay the promise.
Okay.
So now the question is, what is your own Ismail? What is it that you love equally with God, or that you prefer above God? So you need to sacrifice that. So if you love money above God, make that sacrifice and love God.
Okay. I like the story you just painted, but let's look at into it properly, where you have to, the Muslim brothers and sisters have to embark on that symbolic sacrifice by slaughtering rams, whatever animal they have. But there is also a clause to what animals that they should slaughter and how fit the animals should be.
Yes.
Okay.
Of course. The animals, you don't sacrifice a lion, not even a horse,
Okay.
not the tiger or the hyena. You can sacrifice the sheep, the goat, the ram. You can sacrifice, as I mentioned before, the cow, the camel. If it is the ram, at least a year old. If it is the cow, at least 2 years old.
Oh, really?
The camel, at least 5 years old. Because the stage of maturity, a 1-year-old ram is already mature, but a 1-year-old cow is not as mature as that. Just like human being too. You will say the same day the antelope gives birth to the little one, it's already running.
Okay.
Because of the hyena. But when you give birth to your child as a human being, as a year-old baby, see the baby,
Okay.
you keep nursing the child. So now the animal should not have any deformity. Should not be with a broken arm, should not be with 3 legs, or a blind animal. The essence is whatever you want to give to God, give what is good to God. Do not give what is defective. Do not be like a Cain. We know Cain and Abel had to make sacrifice. Cain was a farmer. Abel was a shepherd. Abel took the biggest ram.
Okay.
He said, this for God, sacrifice. Then Cain, we are told, having gathered the farm produce, say, no, this tomato, this one is too big. I just not for sacrifice. No, how can I give her this no onion? No. So the rotten ones, then Almighty God accepted the sacrifice.
Okay.
Of Abel.
Okay.
And not that of Cain.
I like this.
Yes.
Now.
So Cain and Abel, that is Kabila and Abila in the Quran.
Yeah.
So when you are giving to God, give what is good. And you cannot climb the heavens and go and give God. You have human beings to give. So when you are giving even to the beggar, give what is good.
Give what is
For
good.
Islam said one tradition that when you give a cloth, for example, a sadaqah, and it's charity, that the giver will be under the protection of Almighty God as long as the rag of that cloth is on the body of the wearer. So give what is good. And one tradition of Islam says that an ignorant, generous person is more daring, is more dearer to Almighty God than a pious miser. So when you claim to be pious, to be a religious leader, but you are miserly,
Yes.
the man who is ignorant, who is a follower, who is not a leader in place of worship, but is generous, is preferred by Almighty God to you. So generosity is encouraged.
Okay. Looking at that sacrifice
Yes.
that Abraham made, that promise was a painful promise, and going through offering Isaac was another big challenge. Or Ishmael. Ishmael. Okay.
Yes.
Was another big challenge.
Yes.
Now, if we are to bring it to our everyday life, as a lesson. It means that what you value most can also be sacrificed. Must it be an animal?
You know, I said something that, what is your honest mind?
Yes.
What is it that you value most? Most of us today, we value things of this world. So, the much you value that thing, you need to give it out. Share with others. Don't be niggardly. And when you are giving, you know what happens now? We give out tattered cloth and worn out shoes. When the dog will see the shoe, start back. You will not just get something that is really, really worthy to give out. So the lesson from that is try to give out what is really worthy. But what you are really giving out is what you are storing for yourself in the hereafter. Let me give you a story quickly. Abuza had a servant. Then he told the servant, whenever I'm giving an instruction, whenever I ask you to go and make sacrifice, take any of my items to sacrifice, take the best one. There was a day some people came, some soldiers were around, wanted to entertain them. He said, now go and get one of the camels for sacrifice. Then the slave got there and said, oh, this camel is the best camel, good for riding. I better take the second best. After all, they want to consume it. So he was taken to Abuza. Abuza said to him, oh, you have failed your promise. Why are you picking the second best? Why not the best camel? He said, oh, I thought they are going to consume it. That best camel is good for riding. So I kept it for you. He said, oh, you preserve it for me? Now let me tell you the question of my need. Is when I'm laid down in my grave. And when I'm standing before my God on judgment day. I am sending down my best thing to the hereafter to preserve for me. Because whatever you leave behind here will be inherited by your peers. So whatever you send forward is what will make for you the hereafter. So I am making sure that I'm giving out good things, preserving it for myself in the hereafter. So here you are. You want to now send the second best for me when I'm the owner. So that is our understanding.
Okay. Okay. We also believe that your groups, the Muslim religion, we have different organizations that really practice that. And again, there is this need to have this lesson to also make peace as a big sacrifice for the nation to move forward. Now, is it true that some of the groups do not promote peace?
Thank you very much. In fact, when you talk of Islam, it's from the word submission, total and absolute submission to the will of God. And Islam is a religion of peace. Salam, peace. Assalamu alaikum, peace be unto you. When you say Assalamu alaikum, what it means is that from me, expect nothing but peace. As far as I'm concerned, you are safe. I will never hurt you. I will never harm you. I will not even say anything ill about you, even if you are not there. So that is what I take it. So now,
and even if you are not a member of the religion.
Now the religion has rules and regulations. Okay. Now even when you are slaughtering your animal, sharpen the knife and let the victim be comfortable. And it's forbidden for you to kill human beings. It's forbidden to you to kill Muslims and non-Muslims. Even in real war situation, which must be the last resort, you must first negotiate, explore all avenues to ensure that there is reconciliation and amicable settlement. If now the matter now resorted to war, there are rules of war in Islam. You are not allowed to kill the female or the children or the religious clerics. You do not burn down the mosques or the churches. Don't destroy economic
like we have today.
So you don't destroy economic trees. So issue of somebody now taking a bomb, for example, going to the marketplace, market square, and now delivering the bomb. From which doctrine? Is it from the hadith?
That's not the tenet of Islam.
At all. For example, you will say, oh, I'm a medical doctor. Then you see a man, you see on news, fake medical doctor. That he was apprehended, he claimed to be a medical doctor, but he's not. Sometimes you can claim to be an engineer. You are not. You see collapse buildings here and there. Okay. So you can also claim to be a Muslim when you are not.
Okay, so what you are also saying is that if among these groups, there are also some who are extremists.
Yes.
Fanaticism.
Thank you very much. Now, so when you become a fanatic or you now go into extremism, it's not part of religion. For example, it's very clear in the Quran that La ikrah fi din, that there is no compulsion in religion. True guidance is this from error. So you do not compel someone to embrace your religion. You do not coerce someone to embrace your religion. It's
Or you
forbidden.
do not take your religion as superior to other
No,
religions.
no. You
But is it possible?
worship your God.
Is it possible?
You know, what should be encouraged is what should be encouraged is healthy rivalry.
Healthy rivalry.
Not unhealthy rivalry. Healthy rivalry in the sense that yes, I claim to be a Muslim.
You promote your
I
faith.
want to show Philip who is a Christian. I want to show him that I'm more generous. I want to display more generosity, more patience, more
virtues.
piety, more virtues. I want it to be that my place of worship, my followers do not take to crime. They assist government projects. They assist human beings.
As a way of luring them to become members.
That is what healthy rivalry. Now you will now say, oh, who are those doing that charitable work? Say, oh, the Muslims. Oh, my church members, go and do better.
Yeah.
That is healthy rivalry. Okay, they are doing better now. Philip group is better than us now. We need to improve. We need to do better than this. That is healthy rivalry, not unhealthy rivalry.
Like we have today.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because the ultimate, if we really follow the teachings of our leaders, Muhammad, Moses, Jesus, of course, there will be no unhealthy rivalry. Now, what is their major teachings? They commonize the world, and they have value for the hereafter. To the extent that the Bible tells us that Jesus will say, the foxes have holes, the birds have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. Moses and the wife were sharing the same garment. Muhammad doesn't have a company or any big car in Saudi Arabia. In fact, the Bible said that it will be easier for the camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter paradise. Prophet said that the poor will be in paradise 500 years before the rich. But today, what are the followers and the people preaching? Prosperity is material salvation, no longer eternal salvation. So that's where we get it from. Until we back to God. When the angel will be sent to Muhammad, and God says, I want to turn the mountain of Uhud into gold and silver for you. And Muhammad said, no, Almighty God, I don't want. You see, my prayer is, I want to be hungry today, and tomorrow I pray to you and I beg. So that when I'm hungry, I will ask you for provisions, and when my hunger is gone, I will thank you for providing for me. I want to live from hand to mouth. But today you say, oh, he's living from hand to mouth, he's living a bad life. So we estimate you based on what they possess. And that explains why our leaders too, when they get position of authority, they want to amass. They want to take as much as possible. Because the society respects the person who has, and not the person who does not have. So the value are falling. And that is the effect. You now see the youth going to rituals, you see Yahoo, you see Yahoo Plus, they are looking for woman pants, woman bra, they are looking for this and that to make money. Okay. Meanwhile, these are the things that our leaders rejected.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Alao. Well, he did justice to that, looking at how it's really imperative for us to sacrifice for peace, sacrifice for love. And if you say that you love your country, then it means that you should sacrifice for peace. Well, all of these issues about having one religion or being a member of religion and you seeing the religion as being superior to other religions and you not accommodating the faith of other religions brought about the rise of religious intolerance. And that's basically what we are looking at for today. And this is towards looking at the unity, how to make sure that the unity of Nigeria comes to fusion. Now, we understand, Pastor Onomroba, that we are from heterogeneous background as Nigerians. We have different tribes, different religions, but coming together as one. Now, some school of thought believe that our greatest challenge that tends to threaten our unity has to do with religious intolerance. Do you agree?
Very, very well. Thank you very much. Listening to our Muslim cleric here, the things he said are nice. They are very, very beautiful about Islam, peace and all that. But every Nigerian would have wished it was so, that was our reality. Because what is being said many times and the reality that is facing us, they are different. Today, I'm not saying what they are saying is right, but like it or not, 95% of terrorist organizations in the world are Islamic. The word Allah Akbar has become the tone for detonating for a suicide bomber to detonate themselves.
But don't forget that he said there are extremists.
I'm coming. That's where I'm going to. By the time you are finding out that most terrorists are getting their inspiration from your religion, the religion needs to go back to ask why. Where are we getting it wrong? Why so? How many people quote Bible before they bomb people? How many people are slaughtering people daily? The Boko Haram is all of them. Anywhere, ISIS, every terrorist organization that has become a nuisance to this world, 95% are getting their inspiration from the Quran. The Islamic clerics and the Islamists are constantly telling us that their religion is peace. But we are contradicting something. Then we have to now go back. Why? Probably there is a mistake we are doing. How many times have you seen idol worshippers become terrorists? How many times have you seen Buddhists become terrorists? So we need to go back. And religion, some people call it, is a two-edged sword. Religion can bring a lot of peace in society, but it is also, if not well handled, it can be the greatest security, in fact, the worst crimes that have ever been committed from Adolf Hitler even, are always religious based. So we need to go back. What is religious intolerance? Intolerance is simply that state where you can no longer accommodate your neighbor because of their contrary religious beliefs. If I move to the extent where I can persecute you because of what you believe, then I've moved into religious intolerance. Then there are two things with the Nigerian constitution I would like to say. Number one, the Nigerian constitution says that Nigeria will not accept, we don't have a state religion. So Nigeria is a secular state. It's a secular country. Then number two, Nigerian constitution gives everybody the freedom of worship. The freedom you can worship and the freedom of the change of your religion. Now, what begins to happen, I really want to tell both Islams and Christians is this. Nigeria, according to some reports, although you can't get exact reports from Nigeria because of political issues, 50.4% of Nigerians are Muslims, 48.2% are Christians. What that means is this. Anybody who is thinking, whether from the Christian side or from the Muslim side, you can't dominate a nation like that. Christianity cannot dominate Nigeria, neither can Islamism dominate Nigeria. The only way forward when you are in such a nation is we need to now learn principles of accommodating one another. Lest, like you said, it can be the worst crisis that can ever happen. In fact, a religious crisis, if let to happen, it can be worse than the civil war. Because when you talk about civil war, not everybody were Igbos. Not everybody are part of the Nigerian army. A religious war, 50-something% of the nations are in one side, 48% are the other side. So it's a very, very fragile issue.
Okay, thank you.
That we must look at.
Thank you, Honorable. You made a point well, but let's get the viewpoint of Pastor Egwage before we come back to you. I know you have reactions on that. Okay, over to you, Egwage. What's your bite on this?
Thank you, Philip. My view is very different from my colleagues that are here. Actually, we Nigerians, we are living in a country where there is diverse ethnicity. So if we are going to look at the problem of Nigeria, we should not look at the religious setting. Let's start from our ethnicity. So Nigeria problem is not the issue of religion.
It's not an aspect of religion. Okay, it has to do with tribe.
Yes, have to do
tribal intolerance.
Yes. If we want to solve Nigeria problem, we must tolerate the tribes. Every tribe in Nigeria must understand the concept that we are one Nigeria. Because we are not talking about religion. We have this religion, this Islamism and Christianity, they are in other countries. We have it in Britain, we have it in England, we have it in Canada and the rest of them. So they are tolerating each other. So we are talking about religion in Nigeria, we are taking ourselves back. The issue is that how can these tribes, the Igbo tribes, the what's it called, the Amsas, the Yorubas, how can we tolerate each other, the Benin? So if we are undermining this concept, there will never be a time we can administer or appreciate each other in this country. So we are looking at it from this different perspective. So in a situation, in a scenario where some group of people want to take it over in this nation and say, we are the owner of this country. So the rest of us will not be convenient with such a scenario.
What you're trying to say is that the war, the killings, the violence.
Thank you very much. It's not a religious issue.
Has nothing to do with religion.
At all. It's an ethnic issue. If we can solve it from the ethnic side of it, I tell you, my brother, we will live a peaceful country.
Do you agree? Allow.
Thank you very, very much. You see, the problem I would say we have in the country is hypocrisy. I agree with the fact that tribalism is a major problem, a defining factor in this country. And of course, you will see those are the ends of affairs using religion and tribalism to achieve their own ends.
That's it.
Okay. So you also agree that religious intolerance is part of it?
Religious intolerance, of course, I'm coming to that. Now, but I agree with the submission that the
tribal intolerance
is a very major problem that we have in the country. And in fact, the problem has also crept even into religion. To the extent that in your place of worship, even in the mosques and churches, you have this tribalism developing around everywhere. Because people who are not competent want to use tribe to get what does not belong to them. When you look around and you see they are not competent to get this office, you want to narrow it down, it has to be for a particular tribe. Meanwhile, if you sincerely, you are a Muslim, or you are sincerely a Christian, you believe sincerely in Muhammad or in Jesus Christ, then you will not at all practice tribalism. Because the Muhammad you believe in is not from Nigeria.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I'll allow you to continue, but we quickly take a break. Don't forget that we're on the issues about the unity of Nigeria and tackling religious intolerance. We'll take a short break. Do stay tuned.
TMI, every opinion counts.
Before the break, we had Barrister Alao Alamin on the floor.
Thank you very much. So as I was saying, that a true Christian or a true Muslim must not participate in tribal or ethnic discrimination. Because the Jesus you believe in is not from Nigeria. The Muhammad you believe in is not from Nigeria. So if you can believe in Muhammad that is all the way from Saudi Arabia and Jesus Christ all the way from Jerusalem or in the Middle East, then you now discriminate against your fellow Nigerian.
Okay,
that explains why we have xenophobic attack in South Africa.
Yes.
This is very, very, very wrong.
Let's posit a point, like what Salvation Onomroba said, that some of this could be drawn from the strength of the Quran.
Now,
where we have the holy war, underlined, holy war.
Thank you very much.
Don't you think that is also a cause of this?
I'm coming to that. I wanted to first align with my friend before I now come to the point he made.
Okay.
You see, we have one thing that the whole nation have been talking about, and that is hate speech. Let us avoid hate speech. Let us avoid hate speech. Hate speech is one of the things that leads to violence, whether tribal or religious.
Okay. So
when a cleric comes to the studio and make utterances, cast aspersions against other religion directly, that 95% of terrorists act before the terror body say Allah Akbar. I'm coming, you see, because as far as I'm concerned, everything he said amounted to hate speech. Amounted to hate speech. And I will not now start saying that, all the armed robbers we have, whose names are Peter and Paul, they are Christian terrorists. All the kidnappers that we have, whose name is John and Johnson, they are Christian terrorists. I will not say that. That would be wrong of me. That would be hate speech. You see, before you can be called a cleric, you need some level of tolerance within you yourself. Because it is what you feed to your church members and your mosque members that they act with. So if we are saying that some people are violent, and we are saying they are not representing the tenets of the religion, by being violent,
which you established,
and then someone now is saying that Muslims are the ones saying this, Quran are the ones. Which portion of the Quran says one should be violent? Which verse? There is none.
Okay, but let's look at the aspect of the holy war, because I think that's where the strength is coming from.
Now, the holy war, that is jihad. You say jihad, holy war. Jihad is what mean holy war? Jihad is from the Arabic word jahada, meaning to strive. To strive. Striving. That is jihad. There's nothing like, jihad is not holy war. So now when you see the policemen going to pursue the armed robbers and attacking them, that is jihad. They are striving. As you are here now, you are doing jihad. You are striving to make ends meet. You get your salary every day. As we are here now, you are striving. Striving to save the needy, to help the needy is striving. That is jihad. And jihad is according to Islam.
Okay. But
now, I'm not through yet. I'm not clear. Now, so, for example, when you talk of tolerance, let's go down a little. We have Friday, we have Sunday holidays. Today, Sunday holidays. You do not have Friday holidays. You've not seen the Muslims say, no, we will not agree. This is Nigeria is not a Christian country. There will be public holiday on Friday. We will not go to school again. Are we not tolerant enough? I'm coming. Let me finish. I'm coming. Okay. Now we have in our hospitals the sign of the cross. This is Christ dying of death of Christ on the cross, which we don't believe in. Have we ever said, okay, we are going to break all the crosses in the hospitals? We don't want this sign.
That's been tolerant.
In fact, we even speak the Bible. We say the genesis of the matter. We say the baby has been Christian. We say the Israelites' journey. There is no way in history you have been read that when the colonial masters came from Saudi Arabia, they now say every Christian must become Muslim before they go to school. Okay. These are all the things around record in Nigeria. That when the colonial masters came, later Chief Mary someone, he said he wanted to enter a school in Ibadan. To enter there must be a Christian. And I lied. He said, yes, I'm a Christian. But they said, read Holy Mary. Read Hail Mary. He couldn't read it. So we shouldn't go that way at all, because everyone, it should not be an issue of I want to counter you or to counter. We shouldn't go that. We should avoid hate speech. We should be teaching our followers tolerance.
That's the essence of this program.
Those of them who are Muslims, who are criminals, who are terrorists, we are telling you that what they are doing is un-Islamic. Yeah. Those of them who are Christians, who are kidnappers, who are killers, who are terrorists, we are saying what they are doing is un-Christian.
Okay, no. Does it seem to suggest, like the way we are saying it now based on current realities? Yes. We have some members of ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and all of this infiltrating into this gun-trotting headsmen that we're having, the farmers' header clashes. Does it seem to suggest that the animosity can be resolved?
Now, you see, we have this false information and propaganda everywhere. When we were starting, he said, people say Allahu Akbar. Anybody can say Allahu Akbar. A Christian can say Allahu Akbar. Yeah. Anybody can dress in this attire.
Like infiltrating into...
Some terrorists have been caught putting on Islamic attire and going to a place of worship and discover that this place is not even a Muslim. Even in Benin Central Mosque, when the judgment of Robert later someone, and then there were crises in the mosque, police arrested 3 people who were charged to court. 2 of them were Muslims, the 3rd one is a Christian. They were charged to court. They were demanding in prison custody. The Christians said they hired me that I should come and join them to fight against someone. So how do you, there was a brother from the north. He lives there. He told me, he said, do you know that the Fulanis in the north, they are afraid of the Fulanis from Cameroon. He said he went to greet a friend of his Fulanis in the north. Then they saw cattle enter the farm. He is a farmer. Then he said, they want to destroy your crops. He said, no, hold on, don't talk. Then he went to this man and then spoke some Fulani to him. Then he came back to him and he said, oh, that man is a Fulani from Cameroon. They are very violent. As he is there, he has rifle. I cannot challenge him. So they too, they are being terrorized. So, but we do not know these details. Some Fulanis are not Muslims. So it's just generalized.
Okay, back to the question again. Does it mean that it can't be resolved?
Now,
because these are some of the organizations that pertains to project the Islamic religion, which seems to be a deviation from what Islam
let me even take you to what Islam stands for. Islam means total submission to the will of God. Okay. Will of God. That's it. And all the prophets, Moses, Jesus, Muhammad, they came to preach submission to the will of God. Yes, all of them, including Jesus. Submission to the will of God. Jesus Christ was not a Christian, because a Christian means a follower of Christ, cannot follow himself. And that's why the Bible says that Barnabas went to South to look for Saul. When he finally went to Antioch, in Antioch he met the church and taught the language of people. That in Antioch the Christians were for the first time called Christians. Called Christians. Christ has done then. What Christ was teaching is submission to the will of God. He said in Lord's Prayer, pray the following words: Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as in heaven. Matthew 7:21, he said, not everyone that says unto me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of God, but he that does the will of my Father who is in heaven. In Mark 3:35, people came to him and said, Christ.
Good to know you are even preaching from the Bible.
Yes, I'm coming.
All right.
So people came to Jesus.
Yes.
Can I come?
You have 20 seconds. You have 20 seconds.
So now they came to him and said, your mothers and brothers are outside, they want to see you. And Christ said, who are mothers and brothers? Whosoever does the will of God is my mother, is my father, is my sister. So the word Muslim means the one who does the will of God.
Okay.
The Christian means a follower of Christ. I am a follower of Christ.
But
if you claim to be a follower of Christ, you don't do the will of God, that is the problem.
Thank you. All of this is to resolve the religious intolerance that seems to pervade the political landscape of the country. What do you see going forward?
See, you see, in this country, one of our issues is we dodge reality, we paint issues.
Yeah, can you just go straight to the point?
That's where I'm going
without,
there is a reality. This is a book in my hand. If in this country, we find out that most people, let's say, for example, I noticed that 80% of people who commit crime seem to hold this book to commit that crime. We have to go back to the table and ask, what do we correct here? Is there something here? There's a reality here. Look at the notes. Let me say how we make mistakes.
The challenge here is we are having infiltration of these persons who claim to fight for the religion.
I'm coming. Our cleric here, I'm trying to say something. Our cleric here is a lawyer. He's educated. When you go to the north, one thing about religion, I'm not saying even just Muslim, but Christianity. When you teach somebody religion enough, a lot, and you don't educate the person on philosophical knowledge, the person seems to easily become a fanatic or an extremist. For example, northern Nigeria, the level of education is highly low. Their Majiri system is increasing by the day. The elders of the north, for example, a child is sent to an Arabic school and is only taught Arabic and is only taught the Quran. He doesn't get the Western, he doesn't get the general education. Over time, now there is increase of marriage, there is increase of children. The truth is that we did not end up in terrorism by accident. It came by the mistakes of leaders, it came by the nonchalance of cleric like me, even me or him. It came easier now, it's sounding nice. We all sound nice. The problem will not be him. The problem is going to be that Amajiri boy that did not go to school, that is not putting enough effort for the education. Because I have learned, you can never ask a barrister to go and blow himself up and he will do. The North, are they doing enough? As our cleric has said here, that Islam is a peaceful religion. We accept that, fine. But we are now seeing a lot of problems coming.
Divisions.
What steps are they taking steps to reduce this marriage of so many people? A Majiri system? Till today, what about the schools? There was a state in this country where they wanted to write an exam, and I think primary 6 exam, they could count how many people in the state wrote the exam. What steps? Let's not just cover issues and say we are. Let's see this. For example.
Okay, are you saying that that's actually a task before the religious leaders
them,
that they need to tackle?
I was trying to go to. What is calling hate speech?
Are you saying that they are failing to tackle it?
That's what I'm trying to say, that it is their responsibility. If you find that these people are using your Quran and they are insulting your Quran, you now have to come out, you the real Muslims, and take up responsibility.
Okay, thank you.
Educate the young people.
Thank you.
Go to education. Send your message more and more. It's not just what I'm saying is that the true Muslims are not doing enough. They need to do more so that we know who are the fake Muslims.
Okay, thank you. He just said that. Do you concur with what Salvation said?
He's making a point, but my view is always different. Actually, what he's saying is right. But let me quickly sound a note to what my brother just said, barrister. He said he was talking about Jesus. God said, anyone that does the will of the Father, that's what matters a lot. What is the will of the Father? That should be very noted in our understanding. When you talk about the will of the Father, it's nothing else than Jesus preaching, Jesus lifestyle, Jesus
as it pertains to your religion.
Thank you very much. No, to everybody. So because the Bible says in the book of Mark chapter 16, verse 15 and 16, it said, everyone that will not believe this gospel, the message that Jesus came to preach, is condemned already. So if you look at the Quran and the Bible, they are not the same. Quran is younger than the Bible. Bible is about 500 years older than the Quran. So if we are
but we are not here to talk about superiority or which one is older.
Okay.
What we are looking at is how we can tolerate each other. I think we should take away any aspect that has to do with trying to make one older or superior. Please, let's avoid that.
Yes, toleration one another have to be with. We must understand the nitty-gritty of nationhood. Now, if we are called Nigerians, we should be able to understand that the purpose of being a Nigerian is to produce the character that will promote the furtherance of this country. If we are Muslims, we are Christians, we are other religions, and we have diverse views concerning the furtherance of this nation, there's no way we can have religious tolerance. So if we are going to tolerate each other, we must understand that we have a nation to build. Okay. We have a nation to stand for. So if that is not the scope, then we are going to have this issue coming up again and again and again.
What's your view over the farmers' headers clashes?
Yes.
As it pertains to religious intolerance.
Thank you very much. I was listening to one of my pastors preaching that he said, these herdsmen, they are not Muslims. They are men from here. They are men from here. So herdsmen issue should not be tackled religiously. They have a program, and I believe if you go down to history record, you discover that there are a group of people in this nation. I don't want to mention their name. Anywhere they settle, they want to dominate. Anywhere they go, they want to dominate. So these are the people we believe they are promoting the work of the herdsmen. So they want to dominate everybody. So that is why they are going here and there to prove their superiority.
Okay, by that you are suggesting that some terrorist extremists could be infiltrating into the group.
Yes.
Disguising as herdsmen.
Thank you very much. That's what I'm saying. So if that is the order of the day, we have to use this medium to appeal to the government. The herdsmen issue is not just about rural settlement. It should be a program whereby we should look to the nitty-gritty of what is responsible for this crisis that we are facing.
But one thing is sacrosanct. We must stay and live together.
Yes.
That's sacrosanct.
Yes. I was telling one of my barristers, if Loruga was around now, I believe we have asked him many questions for amalgamating Nigeria in 1940.
Do you see that as a mistake?
It was a mistake. It was a mistake, big mistake.
We are trying to answer the question.
Yes.
Can we live together?
If we have the scope, the understanding that we are one, we can live together. If that is not the issue, it's difficult for us to live together.
Okay, back to you, Alao.
Thank you.
He made mention of the fact that the Muslim leaders are failing. They are not doing much to contain the excesses of some of these violent groups or persons that are using or promoting or that are using the name of Islam wrongly. What's your reaction over that?
Thank you very much. The Muslim leaders are trying their best to ensure that Muslims are properly educated. And of course, one thing you know is that there is no compulsion in religion, and you can also compel anybody to go to school. You can only encourage the person to go to school. And of course, many people who are Muslims are well versed. And people who decide not to go to school, their cup of tea. Prophet Islam said in one tradition that Talabul ilm faridu ala kulli muslim wal muslimat, that seeking for knowledge is compulsory, is mandatory, is incumbent on every Muslim. He now said male and female. Saying every Muslim is enough covers everybody. He now for emphasis he said male and female. So if anybody decides not to be educated, it's cup of tea.
If you say if anybody decides not to be educated, it's cup of tea,
as I've said,
you are trying to play a passive
as I've said,
issue.
You
because
cannot.
If they are not educated, it means that they could also take another part of information that could be at the detriment of the country.
What we should be talking of is indoctrination. They should not be indoctrinated. Because even the teachings, you can see we have disagreement now on some issues as regards Christianity and Islam. Meanwhile, Christianity and Islam are just one religion. Jesus and Muhammad and Moses, they are sent by the same God. This indoctrination actually came from
Allah and God.
The same thing. The indoctrination came from the leaders. Okay. For example, now, he is claiming superiority of the Bible. As far as I'm concerned, a Muslim will believe in the Old Testament, believe in the New Testament, and the final testament, the Quran. Okay. That explains why the Jews, for example, will not read the Old Testament, the New Testament. When they read from Genesis to Malachi, they stop there. They say Matthew, Mark, and John doesn't concern us. They don't believe in Christ. But Muslims believe in Jesus, in Moses, and Muhammad. Christians believe in Moses and Jesus. So from that belief, Allah said in the Quran,
believe in Jesus,
Moses, Jesus and Muhammad. So from the belief, it's composed from the belief. You know the extent of tolerance of Islam.
Yeah.
When Muhammad came, the Jesus that the Jews denied, Muhammad confirmed him that Jesus Christ was sent by God.
Okay. Going forward, how do we resolve this? Because I'm pained by the fact that you said if they are not educated, it's their property. And now indoctrination.
Don't get me wrong. I started telling by saying that the Muslim leaders are trying their best to ensure that people are educated, encourage people to get educated.
Yes.
And that the religion encourage get educated. But that if people now choose not to be educated, no, someone that chooses not to be educated,
you don't fall.
That's what I'm saying. For example, as a father, I say, why don't you want to go to school?
Okay, but how do we tackle extremism?
Now,
that's the challenge I'm thinking of.
To tackle extremism, we will have to ensure that those who are religious leaders, they are really qualified to be there as religious leaders, so that they really understand the nitty-gritty, the rudiments of the religion, because you cannot give what you do not have.
Okay.
If you are well grounded in terms of knowledge and faith and piety, you pass on the same thing. But if religious leaders are lacking in this, they have hypocrisy, then they pass on the same thing. They have money to pass.
All right,
so that is the problem we have.
Thank you. I think that's your final statement.
I want to say something about...
You have a minute.
Yes, a passive, trying to change something passively and trying to change it actively. I do not fully agree with my cleric here, my fellow cleric here, who said education is a choice. No. I've seen government policies that you can only suggest.
I didn't say
that it depends on the people. There are policies in states where a state comes up to say, if you cannot train your children, don't give more than this. There are active ways that leaders come up. You see, this thing is costing Nigeria billions of dollars. Souls are dying.
Okay, but you agree that he's not saying that education is a choice.
No, yes, but what I'm saying is that
you can't force it on anyone.
States force education. We are in 21st century. States tell people how many children you give birth to. You can't come and give birth to 20 children here, and you can't educate 3. Then the rest become.
But he made mention of having right leaders. Leaders who have this.
If he wants to bring us,
positive changes.
Yes,
if he wants that's the way forward.
If he wants to bring us to the leaders, because if we want to go back to leaders, one of the issues that brought, if you want to go back to the history of religious intolerance, now we'll go to Ibrahim Babangida, who registered Nigeria in OIC, Organization of Islamic Cooperation.
Okay, going forward.
Okay, going forward, the leaders that we need now, they need to be careful.
OIC is Organization of Islamic Conference.
Yes. Our leaders need to be careful of their speech. We need to be careful. For example, people should not be giving look at the appointment of our present president. But after our president was inaugurated,
let's not go political in that.
No, his first task was to attend the OIC.
Well, you've exhausted your time. Thank you so much for that. Your final words on this.
On the last note, because I want to advise our leaders, political leaders, that they should visit our national conference 2014 and look at the things that were discussed by our leaders, our elders, that we are choosing to go there and bring some facts out.
But that seems to be a no-go area. But you are encouraging the present leadership
because a lot of things are there that will solve what we are discussing now.
All right.
So I will encourage the government to visit the national conference 2014. Okay. And let's see the way forward.
Quickly, do you still encourage the government to visit the conference for 2014?
The government should pray for guidance. You pray for guidance. May Almighty God guide them. They should try to do the right thing.
Guide them to visit it? Or outside?
I will not tell them to visit. I will not tell them not to visit.
All right.
And so we pray for them. May Almighty God guide them in their assignments.
Okay. Number 5 seconds.
2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 24 says, and that is what Christianity is based on, all religions should be based on. It said the servant of God must not strive, but must be apt, must be patient with all. Verse 25 says that, it said, be patient with those who have made mistakes, so that God can bring them. So when we are changing people who don't believe in what we believe, let's be patient. Let's change in love.
Thank you. Patience, talking about tolerance. We've said much here, and it behoves us to ensure that we bring about the reality of really staying together as one. Religious intolerance is really a sensitive issue that must be tackled. Well, thank you very much, Cleric Alao, for coming, Alhaji Alao, and of course, Salvation Onomroba and Omogbe Egwagi. And we hope you have a beautiful day ahead.